Welcome aboard Delta Airlines. Please enjoy your flight, and thanks for choosing Delta.
Jody Avirgan here. Thanks for listening to ESPN Film's 30 for 30 podcasts from the producers of the award-winning 30 for 30 series. These new audio documentaries are an incredible collection of sports stories you need to hear to believe. It's really a win-win. Delta Airlines makes your travel experience easy and enjoyable with real-time bag tracking, e-boarding, and passport scanning during check-in. And ESPN's 30 for 30 podcasts make your in-flight time rich with stories that will keep you coming back for more. So sit back, relax, and keep listening to some of the most compelling sports stories ever told.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Channeling the spirit of Greg Cody, Stugotz, not ready for the start of the show, even though he's been here for an hour doing his own show. Doesn't have his headsets on. Now I have his headsets on.
Right. I'm glad you noticed.
So let's move on.
I mean, jeez.
Why are you blaming me? I don't understand what just happened there. Why would
Listen.
you blame? Hold on. No, don't tell me to listen.
All right.
Hold on a second.
Okay. I'll listen.
This is what happens here, okay? You did the first hour of the show, the local hour, by yourself. For some reason, you feel the need to do that in my seat. I don't know why that is. You could do it from your seat.
We're taking calls, man.
Pulling calls.
Yeah, I mean, we're going places that sports radio has never been before. We're taking phone calls. And in order to take phone calls, I need to sit in your seat because the phone bank is right next to your seat.
Stunning that you would outsource the work like that to the listener. But anyway, so I come in here and I sit down in the seat, and the seat has Stugotz's headset on it. I didn't know it was Stugotz's headset. I just put it on. And then I look over at Stugotz, and the show's starting. It's ready to start, and he just realized. He looks up, not wearing headset, and then he scampers over here, and he doesn't smell good. The whole thing is just a disaster.
Right. Well, I mean, listen, man, I'm just doing my part, and I need to sit in your seat because you're not doing the local hour, which is fine. I'm totally cool with that. We've had fun the last couple of days. I'm lying. I'm not totally cool with that. But regardless, I have to sit in your seat, and it's early in the process, and I'm telling you, occasionally I'm going to forget to take out my headsets from your place and replug them back into my place. It's going to happen. I apologize, and I'm apologizing for all future infractions.
No, wait a minute. That's why your apologies are insincere. That's precisely why they're insincere. I'm apologizing for all future infractions is not actually being sorry enough to correct the behavior. Let's move on.
All right. But how'd you not notice the difference in headphone size? Because these are the biggest headphones I've ever worn in my entire life.
You guys look pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, you do.
It does not work.
So tight.
So tight on it.
Like, how'd he not notice? I don't understand.
Oh, you shouldn't be laughing, Kazoo.
Let me check myself out on the phone.
You shouldn't be laughing, Kazoo. Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Do you know who Kazoo is? Because that was an excellent reference, but I don't think anybody in the audience knows who Kazoo is. Home run derby. Baseball gets criticized a lot, and every couple of days Mike and Mike are trying to fix baseball, but they fixed that home run derby. People didn't like that home run derby. It was getting stale, and they fixed it.
They really did.
And they fixed it by placating your short attention spans. Here's 4 minutes and bonus time.
Yep.
Here's 4 minutes, and during the 4 minutes, you can win 30 seconds of extra bonus time, and everybody's in.
And they're lights.
Oh, yeah.
The bonus time lights.
How do I get the bonus? Bombs.
Yes, and there's a magenta ball. Why? Why not?
Yep.
Why not?
That was tricky. I didn't like the magenta ball.
No, but why? Why? Because they just more colors.
Stanton said he didn't like it. It probably ruined Aaron Judge versus Giancarlo Stanton in the finals. Those damn magenta balls.
Well, that's the problem, and we discussed this during the local hour when we weren't taking calls, but they need to do away with 1 versus 8 and the seedings and all that. Just top 4 advance. That's it. Top 4. Top 4, that's it. And this whole nonsense about you have to wait for a ball to land before the guy can throw a next pitch. Eliminate that immediately.
Dumb rule.
Thank you.
We can all agree that's a dumb rule.
Yep.
But there's small children in the outfield, like trying to catch a fly ball, and then all of a sudden the next pitch is coming, and that's when you become a man.
Are you saying that there's a chance that a small child's going to be hit in the face with another home run as they're awaiting one home run to come down? Is that your argument?
Got to get out in front of this.
Did Guillermo just mutter under his breath, "That's how you become a man"? By taking an Aaron Judge line drive in the neck?
Would that not make a person, a man?
No, it would just make them a child with a welt on their neck and now a big hospital bill. If daddy or mommy's got a problem with health insurance. Like, no, that's not how you become a man. That's how you become a dependent on mom and dad's insurance bill.
No, that changes you. You grow up when that happens.
Right. And you got to think Stanton would take care of that bill, right? Or Judge or any of those guys would take care of that bill. If they hit a kid with a baseball, I'm certain any Major League Baseball player would take care of the bill.
We'd all be better people if we got hit in the face with an Aaron Judge home run ball, I think.
What?
Yeah.
Guillermo, put this on the poll and shut up, and $2, please. $2 fine there.
Oh, wow.
For just a useless contribution. We'd all be better people if we got hit. I mean, what is that?
You were in too deep? Was that what was that?
Yeah, there was a point of no return. You were still looking at me. His head to fill,
$2 fine for being terrible at the microphone and saying something that doesn't make any sense. What I want you to put on the poll, though, is if you have children in the outfield, do you deserve a child to be hit by a baseball? Just ask, if you have children in the outfield, do you deserve a child being hit by a screaming line drive? If you're going to put them out there,
yeah, it's kind of on you.
That seems to be one of the risks. You put them out there with a glove, and then after that, it's like setting loose an animal in the wild. It's like, if you get hit in the face, you get hit in the face. You got a glove. But Aaron Judge, and I'm not doing this prisoner of the moment, I swear, because you've heard me say for years that Giancarlo Stanton is the most powerful person I've ever seen hit a baseball. And Tim Kurkjian agreed with that. And no, he's not. not anymore. Because I've never seen what that guy does. It seemed to be a strategy point for him. Let me go opposite field. Home runs opposite field from the right-hand side of the plate. Who the hell goes opposite field in that park? Period. Never mind as a strategy. I'm talking about who has the strength to go opposite field in that park. I've seen Stanton do it. I haven't seen anybody else do it, but he did it as a strategy. It was just like he was just tossing like a spatula. He was just taking the ball and launching it over the right field fence.
Right. It was impressive to see, and I'm with you. I haven't seen anyone other than Stanton and then last night Judge do that. And then he hit the bombs because he knew the crowd wanted that, and the television audience wanted that, and he hit some monsters last night. Had 4 homers over 500 feet.
Guillermo, you're at most of the Marlins games. Has that ever happened before, somebody hitting the roof?
I've never seen it. And he did it twice, I think. He did it in batting practice, which was crazy. And where he hit it in batting practice, it looked like if the roof was open, it may have gone out because it was like over the bank of lights.
Well, they asked Stanton if he had ever done that, and he said no.
I don't think they even had rules for it because I think they ended up saying that the one that he did during the Derby wasn't a home run. Like they said no because I don't think they've ever planned for that. Like they don't have ground rules for that.
The parks, there isn't a park big enough to hold him. And everything that you've heard about that guy is the truth because he's doing that also against Major League pitching. But, man, what a blessing as so many of these guys are fighting in baseball for every little edge that they can get. This guy can hit mistake home runs. This guy could miss the ball and have it, not totally miss the ball, but miss hitting it cleanly. That would really be amazing. If he could totally miss the ball and it still goes over right field fence.
The backwind takes the catcher's glove.
Right. That would be that's the next most powerful hitter in baseball. I've never seen that. Guy swings and misses, strike 3. Why is he trotting around the bases? The ball went over the fence. But he can mishit a ball and still have it be a home run. Was Stugotz jealous that I did the home run derby on the radio with?
He might have mentioned it 12 times.
Yeah. With Boog Shambi.
Yeah, we played the sound. It was great.
It was?
Yeah, it was missing a little something, but other than that, it was fantastic.
Wow, there's a little bit of bitterness coming out here.
Yeah. I mean, I can't quite put my finger on what was missing, but I will tell you it was a massive upgrade from other calls I've heard of the home run derby. Because when Boog wasn't there, it sounded like this. And when you weren't there, it sounded like the saddest thing Boog's ever done. At one point, he said during the broadcast, because I tuned in, I wanted to listen to the dynamic, you and him together, because you're such great friends, and I was also steaming when I saw your tweet that you were doing it on ESPN Radio and why I wasn't invited, because that's something I would have traveled down for. But at the time I tuned in, you had already left the booth, and Boog was left to his own devices, and what he said was, I think I just heard thunder outside.
He looked bored when I got there. That seems like a really sad, it seems like a sad thing to call the home run derby on the radio.
Well, you added to like the most exciting part of it. Everyone agrees. The most exciting part of the home run derby was Stanton's late surge to potentially, overtake the competition. And here was when he fell just one home run shy. It was, really exciting. He was racing the clock, and your contribution here was, mwah.
Fly ball left field. That'll be number 16. Next one popped up. He's got one swing left. And he pops it up, and he falls one.
Yeah, that's a good contribution. What's wrong with that? No. I was just making fart sounds.
Yeah, we were praising it during the local hour, yes.
Yeah, that's color commentary right there. Is there any doubt about what he did there? That's not winning. That's the sound of losing the home run competition. The sound of failure. I made so many sounds on that broadcast. At some point he said to me, like, what are you doing? Because I also had a bunch of sensual sounds. No, it wasn't like that. It was like, oh.
Maybe.
When Gary Sanchez hit one 480 feet. Oh. And then I pointed out that it was disturbingly sensual. Then the whole broadcast went right into the toilet.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Last year, over 3 million drivers switched to Progressive. Call or click today and find out if you could save. The Dan Le Batard Show is brought to you by Upside. Now save big on travel and get a big gift card every trip you buy. You love Upside.com. That's Upside.com.
This isn't surprising at all, but this also happened. I called Mike Moustakas a choker. Just fooling around, because I don't call anybody a choker. Anybody who knows about my work knows that I don't accuse people of choking, so I just decided during the home run derby to accuse Mike Moustakas of choking. Royals fans, unbelievably mad at me. Like furious, serious Royals fans, and you got to be a serious Royals fan to be listening on the radio to the home run derby.
He did choke. Seriously, Moustakas. And your nickname is Moose. Hey, your nickname is Moose. You have to have a better showing at the home run derby. What a choker.
I got called a bag of feces by a Royals fan. A bag of feces. Not merely feces, an entire bag of it.
You know what the C in KC stands for? Choke.
Dan Le Batard.
Did you love the Joker's Wild? 61% of the audience said no.
Oh, you damn young people, soaring with so much ignorance.
Stugotz.
You don't even know what we're talking about. The Joker's Wild is the truth, man. Stay woke.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Guillermo, put this on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Would you support deciding baseball games in extra innings with the home run derby?
Thank you.
Because I think I'm with Stugotz on this. For all of his fixed baseball stuff, baseball is notoriously reticent to change because it is our most historic sport and it takes pride in that history. But when they went to the wild card, there was a lot of objection from purists, Bob Costas and others. That has turned out to be a good thing. They fixed the home run derby by placating our lack of attention span. And I think I'm with Stugotz on this. And I'm with Stugotz on this for this reason. It's 162 games. They're way too many. They've outlived their usefulness. If you're going to have too many games, the argument against deciding it in extra innings the way that hockey does with shootouts or 3-on-3s and stuff is that, or penalty kicks in baseball, is that you're mutating the sport. You're not being
in soccer. You mean?
Yes, penalty kicks in soccer.
Mm-hmm.
That you're mutating the sport by having the result decided in a way that's not the sport anymore.
Yes. To me, it's so simple. You're trying to shorten the games. You're trying to attract a younger audience. You're trying to make it more entertaining. So 9 innings game is tied. It's the Cubs. It's the National. It's any two teams, but Nationals and Marlins. Stanton and Harper. They each get 3 minutes. Harper goes first. Whoever the home team is goes last. Harper goes first. He hits 15, and Stanton's got to chase him. It's over in 10 minutes, and everyone's happy.
Baseball will never do it, but it's not a horrible idea. It's not, because baseball's got a young people problem. And that is one way to get people involved. It makes it all dumber. It makes us all dumber.
So we like dumb stuff.
Mm-hmm. But it's entertaining. In fact, that can't be disputed. I think you'd be looking forward to extra innings. You'd be watching the 9th inning, hoping it goes into extra innings tied.
Of course. I mean, that's what I've been saying. Yes, you would want it to go to extra innings so you could see the home run derby. Of course.
Think about what that does to the Stanton contract, because now this guy's potentially winning you games.
Right. It makes the guy who can do that more valuable. Yes. They'd have to create a whole nother stat to measure the value of someone who could just win you games. Like they've got that stat in baseball, value above replacement player. This would be a way to maximize the value on someone's contract like that. The unfortunate thing for the Marlins is they are paying Bohr very little, and he's giving you more than what Stanton is being paid.
Right.
Is that's still the biggest contract across sports? Is it not? Is it the biggest contract across sports, guaranteed money by $100 million, or is now James Harden is now $200+ million over the next 6 years, not the next 4. He got a 4-year extension. Right. And so now the total of the 6 years is almost $40 million a season. But over 10 years, Stanton's contract is?
I've got a Wikipedia open of list of largest sports contracts. That contract that James Harden just got him into 7th place, but Giancarlo Stanton is still number 1.
Right. A-Rod's too, by the way. He's still getting paid this year.
Oh, my gosh.
Contract's not up yet.
That is amazing.
The top 3 are Giancarlo Stanton, Alex Rodriguez, and Alex Rodriguez.
Wait a minute. What?
The top 3 largest sports contracts ever are Giancarlo Stanton, Alex Rodriguez, and Alex Rodriguez.
So 3rd place is A-Rod's original deal with the Rangers. 2nd place is the contract he's still under right now.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Guillermo, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Did you know that A-Rod is still, put still in capital letters, the owner of the 2nd largest contract in sports?
Miguel Cabrera's is impressive because, he's number 4 on this list, but if you look at what he pulls in annually, it's more because he's got a shorter deal. He only signed an 8-year deal, where the other guys in the top 5 have 10-year deals. Miguel Cabrera has an 8-year deal, and annually he was pulling down 31.
Same with David Price, $31 million per season.
Let me ask you guys this question. Do you remember the original Texas contract of A-Rod? Because this should have told us where we were headed with all things A-Rod. There was a funny detail about the original contract of A-Rod's. Do you know the funny detail of the original contract?
No, I can't remember.
Guillermo, do you know what I'm mentioning here?
Yes, he wanted it to be double Kevin Garnett's, which was the largest contract at the time.
Kevin Garnett was $126 million, and A-Rod had to go $252 because he wanted it exactly double. It didn't have to be $252. $250 is a fine enough number, right? Wouldn't you have liked to have been in the room for the last part of those negotiations to see where Tom Hicks of the Rangers is saying, look, $250, $250 million is as high as I go. Can you go $2 more million there? Because I'd just like to be twice as much exactly as Kevin Garnett. And now Drew Holiday gets the Kevin Garnett contract.
This has gone on long enough. Time to make some money.
Guillermo, put that on the poll, please. Did you know that A-Rod wanted his contract to be exactly twice as much as Kevin Garnett? I heard that A-Rod and J-Lo were walking around the Miami Beach Convention Center for that fan fest.
Yeah, you could see it on his Instagram story. They were holding hands.
Why would they do that?
Why not?
Just that seems like an odd place specifically.
They're in love.
They're in love.
Yeah. What do you mean?
All right,
Get to
hold
pick
on.
and choose the
All right.
places you can hold hands. I mean,
No, I don't mean why would they hold hands in public. I mean, why would they subject themselves to the baseball fans by just going and wandering around in an area where they're going to be engulfed?
man of the people. I mean,
He is eating it up because A-Rod, like if you follow him on Instagram, he does this thing where most of his videos don't have sound. But there was like one video where he was like driving around the ballpark yesterday where he forgot to put the sound down, and you could hear him saying like, all our videos are going viral. I'm pretty sure I knew what he was talking about.
So hold on a second. I want to get back into this A-Rod J-Lo dating thing for a second. Is A-Rod dating her because she's J-Lo? Put that on the poll, Guillermo.
What is that supposed to mean?
No,
Like,
just leave it alone.
well, hold on. Is J-Lo dating him because he's A-Rod?
Wow. Power couple. Like J-Lo for several reasons.
I think what happened yesterday. Is that J-Lo isn't believing that A-Rod is the big deal that he says he is, and so he's like, "Come with me. We're going to go to the baseball convention center. We're going to go to a fan fest. You watch. I'm going to show you what it's like to be A-Rod."
To find us on a station near you, visit espn.com/ESPN Radio and click the station locator tab. Dan Le Batard.
America is addicted to its technology, and it's really unhealthy.
I keep having this discussion with my wife because she is on that phone nonstop. And what I have asked for our family to do moving forward is let's figure out a time where all of us put our phones away and none of us use them till the next morning.
Stugotz.
Yeah, but nobody wants to be with you.
That just dawned on me. Thanks, Dan.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guests on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Get instant gold status at Shell. Join the Fuel Rewards program right now at fuelrewards.com/gold. Here's your SportsCenter update. Aaron Judge won the home run derby last night after a 23-22 first-round win against Justin Bour, a 13-12 win against Cody Bellinger, and defeated Miguel Sano in the championship round 11-10. Red Sox ace Chris Sale will start tonight in the Major League Baseball All-Star Game for the American League. Max Scherzer for the National League. You'll hear it right here on ESPN Radio. And finally, an Amarillo strip club received just an average number of demerits from the city's environmental health department, even though a June inspection yielded an unusual discovery. According to the Amarillo Globe News, a breast implant was found inside the bar utensil holder at Cassidy's Polo Club. The Globe News reports that there was no word on how the breast implant came to be there.
Minor infraction.
When your big day or special event rolls around this summer, look just as great as you feel in rental suits from thebblacktux.com. The Black Tux is your new way to rent. To get free shipping plus $20 off your purchase, visit thebblacktux.com/Dan for all the latest headlines and information. Tune in the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
It is one of my favorite subversive things that we do right there, where we just drop that story with a couple of jokes and you follow it as the straight guy with the sponsor read. It's one of the most delightful things we do around here, where you've got a ridiculous story and now everybody's mind has gone, because all of us traveled by imagination to that Amarillo strip club, and we were back behind the bar and we found that breast implant together.
A few sporks over it.
Oh, yeah. We all were there. Like a shot glass that's still got the syrupy film of Rumpelmans on it. We were all there. All of us went to that disgusting strip club where there was a breast implant. And we were there together, disgusted.
Gray tray.
And then Stugotz did the read by the sponsor that the sponsor can't be happy about. Like, the sponsor doesn't want to be near that, but we're not mentioning it until now.
Yep.
One of my favorite things. So, one of my least favorite things, Stugotz.
Thanks.
What's going on with the Stugotz negotiations with Sioux Falls? What am I allowed to talk about here? Hold on a second. Hold on.
I can tell you this. I walked in this morning, and there was an ESPN Radio Sioux Falls T-shirt on my chair, on the back of my chair, and I'm telling them right now, that ain't enough.
Okay, 99.1 FM, Sioux Falls Sports Leader. They're talking about doing a stew day instead of Sioux Falls, Stew Falls. And Mike Ryan was very excited about negotiations yesterday and I don't know what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say, but evidently there's a chance of a private plane.
Oh, wow.
Dude, they cracked the door open.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, here's rule number 1, never crack the door open. Because Stugotz is walking through that door.
Well, that's the thing. Stugotz will make this trip because Stugotz has already said no connecting flights.
Yeah.
So Stugotz will make this trip just to say he's been on a private plane.
Well, the flight, he's like, maybe I can get a big, like, I have a sponsor that told me in case of emergency, I was hoping to save it for family. I'm like, this is your emergency. You want Stugotz to go to Sioux Falls? Private. Now, he did say, like, maybe we can get it down to one connection and I'd fly him first class. I'm like, that's good. But private.
No,
now
the door's open on private. He's not going to settle for anything less than private.
I don't know how it works because I've never flown private, but once you're in the air, you're in control. You're the boss. If I tell him I don't want to go to Sioux Falls, I want to go to somewhere else, I can do that, right?
I don't know how that works, but maybe. I don't know. But wait, what are you talking about? That sounds like
he's
planning a Vegas trip. He's planning He's planning to not show up in Sioux Falls so that he can just have the plane take him to Vegas.
Well, do we have a Vegas affiliate or no?
Will you knock it off?
I'm joking.
How are you already planning scams with this? What are the chances? Hold on. Let's just backtrack for a second.
All right.
Because Stugotz has a lot of stuff going on. There are deals being made. Stugotz is in negotiations all over the place on things, and that's always dangerous. It is. It's always dangerous when you're negotiating things.
Did you see his eyes light up when he realized there might be a plane?
I didn't realize I was sharing that information with him for the first time.
I wanted his reaction to be natural, and look how evil he looks.
Yeah, right. No, well, that's the thing. Now that this door has been opened just by us conversationally, that's the starting point on negotiations with these poor people from Sioux Falls who better not be poor.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, what they were talking about, Jeff from Sioux Falls Sports Leader, FM 99.1.
It's Sioux Falls.
Had an entire plan. I mean, the mayor is on board. This is legit. Like, let's worry about the flight, even though we all think the flight is the first, like, the largest hurdle here. Okay? They get you there. You have a limousine service throughout your time in Sioux Falls. You're put up in the nicest hotel. They take you to the finest restaurants. By the way, if you want to take your wife and kids, I got that negotiated in. No problem. Because you're going to want your kids to be there. Because
the private jet, yeah.
Yes, because the next morning you have a brunch with a bunch of like Sioux Falls luminaries and listeners that are coming to celebrate you. Then after the brunch, you hop in your limousine and you go over to City Hall, where there will be a banner, and the mayor will give you a key to the city and proclaim that day Stugotz Day.
Look at the smile on Stugotz's face.
It's amazing.
Look at Stugotz.
Well, I'm waiting for Mike to get to the part where he tells me how much they're going to pay me to come out there.
I did negotiate an extra appearance. It's not going to be great, like because you're getting wined and dined everywhere. But there is an appearance fee.
Really?
All right? Yeah, I mean, I doubled up your ticket rate, dude. Okay? And then you're hopping in a limousine.
Are we doing a show there, or what's going on?
This is after the show on Friday. You hop on a bird.
I got to spend the weekend there?
Well, just a Saturday.
Wow.
And then, like the big event, even though you already have your oversized key, you take your oversized key and you go over to the Sioux Falls Skyforce, the Miami Heat's G League affiliate. You get to run the layup line, get in full uniform, have courtside seats for all your guests, give a halftime speech, culminates Stew Day in Sioux Falls, and then you hop on your bird back to where you live.
So is there one encompassing fee, or is there a fee for each individual appearance?
It's one overall fee.
Will you knock it off? Hold on a second. Well, I didn't want to
That's
fall
a lot, you agree,
I didn't want to fall into this hole. A private plane is also a lot.
Yeah.
Mike, what are we allowed to report? What is Chuck Solituro, maximum gatekeeper at ESPN, allowing us to report on Michael Jordan and the Marlins?
Well, I saw Darren Ravel confirmed a report out there. So just be careful because, like, there have been a million reports. I feel like the Marlins have been sold 4 times by just looking at Twitter.
Okay, but here's what's happened. This is what I can tell you has happened. Jeter doesn't have enough money. And Jeter wants a good amount of the power while not having enough money. So it's interesting that he's thrown the Hail Mary here now that some other billionaires who have the money and don't need Jeter's help have wandered over. Hey, what's happening over here? I could get the Marlins for $1.1 billion and it's a good deal. It's a good deal for me because of their stadium deal and their TV contract. And so Jeter's thrown the Michael Jordan Hail Mary. He linked himself with a politician in order to get some name on the group, even if the group didn't have money and even if Jeb Bush didn't have money. And now he's gone higher up the food chain to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan and Jeter are teammates in sports propaganda and commercialization.
You would think that Jordan would be more likely to cede some power in the organization because he has such a great relationship with Jeter, being that they're both, Jordan brand guys.
Jeter just needs money.
Right.
And now he's throwing a bomb of, will this get the South Florida people excited? And who would you rather have owning your team, Jeter and Jordan, or faceless billionaire?
Or Tag Romney.
Right. Well, it's Jeter and Jordan. Right.
But is it, though? Because if Jeter doesn't have money, that's not a good starting point.
Yeah, but the people he's bringing to the table hopefully have that money.
But people keep dropping out on Jeter because Jeter wants the power without contributing any of the money.
Right, but if Jeter puts together a group that includes Jordan that reaches the asking price of Jeffrey Loria, then, Dan, they have the money. And you also have Jeter and Jordan running your organization. That's very cool. I mean, that's what I would want if I were a Marlins
This sounds to me like Jeter's gone panhandling to Michael Jordan.
Yeah, if you spend all the money to buy the team and you can't maintain it, what's the point?
It feels to me like Jeter just did a GoFundMe with his friend Michael Jordan. That's what it feels to me like. Like Michael's sitting around, he's like, I don't care about baseball. Did you see how that went for me with baseball? And Jeter's like, yeah, I just need a little bit of money. They live in a different world, these guys. And Michael's like, what's a little bit of money? A few $100 million. Yeah, it is a little bit of money.
It is pretty crazy that you hear, it's reported that Jeter's out, and then on Twitter you see the Marlins have been sold to some other billionaire.
No, but this is
all of a sudden, where did Michael Jordan come from?
But I can guess what's happening here. Baseball wants Jeter owning the team, and that club is so tight that they won't even allow Mark. So tight. I don't mean tight as in unified. I mean tight as in the way a sphincter gets. They don't even want Mark Cuban around their sport. They won't let Mark Cuban buy in because he's too rebellious. They want Jeter, and so they're trying to do everything possible for Jeter to get in, even though he's got to go panhandling to his rich friends.
Let's go. My private jet isn't going to fuel itself.
But you'd rather have the wealthier guy than the bigger names?
I want the guy who's going to spend on the team, who's going to buy, who's going to use it on payroll. If Jeter's limping in here, what kind of billionaire beggar is Jeter? He's limping in. He doesn't have money. Jeter's broke ass trying to buy the Marlins. Stop worrying about your home when you walk out the door. You're comparatively broke.
Yes.
Comparatively broke ass.
Yes.
Catch more of the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz, 10 to 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPNU. Dan Le Batard.
Selma Hayek has one of, and it wasn't a very good movie, Dusk Till Dawn. That scene, you know what I'm talking about with Selma Hayek. That scene, it's hard to believe that the woman at the center of that scene is older than me.
Stugotz.
Goes straight downhill after that scene, though.
But anything would. I mean, a flight straight to heaven would go downhill after that scene when Quentin Tarantino is drinking liquor off her foot.
Literally a walk uphill would be going downhill.
Yes, you're right.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Tim Kurkjian going to join us in studio here. We're very excited. I am sitting across from Tim Kurkjian, and I'm taller than him. This is exciting news.
Is Kurkjian the shortest person at ESPN?
Male, certainly, yes. We've got a few that are close, but look, I'm not proud of any of this. You asked a question, I'm going to answer it. I'm now 5'4.5". I don't think there's an adult male shorter than me there. Yeah,
I think Tommy Smith retired. Were you taller than Tommy Smith?
No. I stood next to him.
Wow.
Tim Kurkjian, incidentally, he's really arrived in a special pantheon around the show here. Cody's the only other person that this is so with. When he is here, everyone is made palpably happier by his mere presence. Everybody has wanted to hug him.
Yes.
Sorry, Stugotz, we interrupted you.
No,
Sorry.
that's okay. I was just going to say SportsCenter is brought to you by Jersey Mike's. Stop in at Jersey Mike's today for a sub and a 32-ounce Pepsi fountain, and you can win the music trip of a lifetime. Jersey Mike's, be a sub above, no purchase necessary. Sweepstakes end August 14th. See official rules at PepsiRockThisWay.com. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day. Tim Kurkjian joins us to bring unlimited access. It is brought to you by T-Mobile. Only T-Mobile brings fans unlimited baseball on America's best unlimited network.
Guy writes in here, if Jeter is comparably broke compared to other billionaires and bidders on owning a baseball team, then Pitbull is the homeless guy that can't be worth very much. Isn't Pitbull probably worth more than Jeter? Who's worth more? Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Levitard Show. Who do you imagine is worth more, Jeter or Pitbull? Kurkjian, you really didn't know who Pitbull was yesterday when Adnan Virk brought you over to introduce him to you and you to him and said to Pitbull that you were his biggest fan?
Well, I knew what his name was, but I didn't know what he looked like. And this is typical hilarious, mischievous Adnan saying, we're going to get Kurkjian in a picture with Pitbull. It'll be great. And I, of course, don't think this is going to happen. And then all of a sudden, he's standing right next to me, and Adnan had introduced him, gone to him and said, your greatest fan in the world is right over here. So Pitbull shakes my hand with his gloves on, some complicated handshake, and he basically said, I hear you're my biggest fan, so I have to say yes, of course. And then he runs out and gyrates all over the field. It was crazy.
His net worth, by the way, is $65 million, Pitbull's. My feeling is Jeter has a lot more money than that.
That doesn't sound right, though.
What was it, Fats and Info? No, I know, but on Jeter, 185.
185 on Jeter.
You know what this feels like? This feels like Jeb wanted some of the power that Jeter was trying to get without putting up much dough. And he's like, let me just get a nice little face for the community that'll go along with this while I can get some more
I'm
power.
surprised Pitbull's not worth more than that.
Me
So
too.
am I. Yeah.
Me too.
I had the same
he's
reaction.
Mr. Worldwide.
Well, he puts his name on everything. There's
Right.
nothing that guy won't sell.
Well, he's on Dr. Pepper. He's on Kodak. He's on Bud Light. He owns a vodka.
Well, he's putting his name on things cheap, it sounds like. All right, hold on. Let's backtrack for a second here. Tim Kurkjian's in studio with us. If you want to talk to Tim Kurkjian, 786-456-4837. But we've got an authority here on the question that I'm about to ask, so we'll get an answer here. But I want to go around the room here. Let me go around the shipping container filled with frightened refugees. What do you imagine Pitbull smells like? The bidding starts with Fats and Info.
I think he smells like my dad's cologne.
Okay, that's good. I was going to guess cologne, just in general cologne.
But he's going musty cologne.
Yes, musty cologne.
Yes.
He's very young. Pitbull's like 35, 36. Guillermo, what do you imagine Pitbull smells like?
A combination of sweat and like agua de violeta.
Oh, nice. All right. I'd say sweat and sexuality. Roy, what do you got there?
Drakkar Noir.
Okay, you guys are all going with colognes of some sort. Mike, what about you? What would be your guess on what Pitbull smells like?
Fireball.
Thank you. Stugotz, what do you imagine he smells like?
Sex.
Okay, good guess. What is the answer? What is the correct answer, Tim, on what Pitbull smells like?
Well, he was just next to me for like 10 seconds.
All right, so sex it is. Tim has said that sex it is. Pitbull smells like sex.
I love Tim going in with a traditional handshake to Pitbull, and Pitbull coming back with what Tim believes to be a complicated handshake.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. I was a little bit out of sorts. I got ambushed. I didn't know this was coming.
What did you call him?
And
Pitbull?
thought it would be the greatest thing ever.
Did you call him Pitbull or something else?
Mr.
I called
Bull?
him Pitbull. What else was I going to call him?
What is his real name?
Armando.
Is it?
Armando.
Is it really? All right, Guillermo, put it on the poll. Did you know that Pitbull's real name was Armando? Because I was just on SportsCenter and they asked me his real name and I just guessed Jose. I go, but Armando was also generic, cliched Hispanic class of name.
Armando Christian Perez.
Wow. I didn't think I knew Pitbull's first name. I don't know.
Armando's a decent guess.
I had to ask what the 305 was because I didn't know that.
Come
and
on.
then Adnan explained he's Mr. 305.
Yeah.
So that's the area code here. So this is his town.
It is his town,
I had
yes.
to ask. He had it on his back. Kind of an unusual outfit he was wearing, too. Wasn't it?
You're so gentle. He looked like a clown. You're so gentle. He was wearing tight white pants and a woman's batting practice jersey that was tucked in underneath his package, undercarriage. Like, what?
And the driving gloves.
And the batting gloves for
Yes.
no reason.
Yes. New owner of the Marlins.
What? How kind is Tim Kurkjian right there? Kind of an unusual outfit. Yeah, he looked like a total clown.
It's an outfit no one's ever seen before.
No, in the history of wardrobe, nobody's ever worn that. I want to get back to the Tim Kurkjian handshake with Pitbull for a second because I haven't heard a story this funny since Greg Cody saw Ray Lewis in New Orleans on Bourbon Street. Ray Lewis is wearing a mink at the height of Ray Lewis. He's wearing a mink, and Greg Cody goes to shake hands with him, and it's complicated. It's not really complicated. It's just complicated to Cody. It's dap, and all Ray Lewis wanted was shoulder to shoulder with Greg Cody. But I look up, and in the middle of Bourbon Street, ensnared in Ray Lewis's mink, is Greg Cody somehow with his back to Ray Lewis because Ray Lewis had just brought him in. And so now he's holding, Ray Lewis is holding Greg Cody like you would hold a baby against your chest if you were one of those new parents who's wearing a baby Bjorn. Greg Cody with his back. Where did the handshake end up between you and Pitbull?
Well, given my age and my size and what I look like, it's always a straight on for me because I don't know any other way to do it. But it's so not hip to do that. So he kind of turned my hand and we did it like this, and then he kind of pulled me close. What is that? Is that the dap? Is that what is that?
Yeah, dap.
Is that this?
Yeah,
is that what that
just
is?
dap,
Honestly,
dap. No, dap is like all the. I'm surprised you don't know this just based on all the home run celebrations and everything.
Like Timmy, I'm going to dap you up right now.
Yeah,
okay?
it's just
That's
just pounding fists and
right.
stuff.
So I don't know how to do the handshake thing and the bringing closer and the shoulder to shoulder. I don't know how to do that either because that's just not cool.
Right.
And I never have been. So and I'm so old. I don't know what to do with a lot of people. And I sure didn't know what to do with Pitbull last night. I am amazed though. I saw Frank Thomas this morning down in the lobby, and he said, "Hey, saw you with Pitbull last night." It's like that's what people are talking about. How could that be?
Right. Guillermo, put this on the poll. Is Tim Kurkjian so uncool and so comfortable with uncool that he then indeed becomes cool? Because I think Tim Kurkjian's the coolest.
Because he embraces how uncool that he is.
Because he's just so himself. He's so transparent. He's so comfortably himself, even in the areas that would be uncomfortable, that it makes everyone happy. I'm telling you, I don't know many people in the media. I would vote him number one. He would be my first pick overall in the entire sports media of people who are simply universally liked because they're decent and kind and nice to be around.
I think I'm with you. I think Cody is certainly in that discussion, and I will tell you this, because he made Roy smile yesterday. Adnan Burke is in that conversation. Adnan Burke makes people smile, and he makes people happy. Timmy will tell you.
Oh, Adnan is so funny. And again, he was behind all of this yesterday, but Adnan's recall on all movies is unbelievable. You cannot give him a movie line that he can't give you the next line in that movie. His recall's unbelievable. On the air, he's sensational. He's unbelievably sharp, and he's so hysterically funny. So he's one of my favorite guys. He's coming in today to do the Russillo show.
Yeah.
You should have him on and talk to him about Tangier, which every single day of my life now, I'm not kidding, total strangers say something about Tangier to me, all based on the ad, the one that he came up with. So good.
He made Roy smile?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a picture. I tweeted it out.
That's hard to imagine.
Yes. Roy, you were smiling ear to ear, Roy.
All right. We take your calls with Tim Kurkjian next, 786-456-4837. I need some advice from Tim Kurkjian because we've got suits around here. We've got a lot of suits around here. I saw one hiding in the corner earlier, and they play defense against the stuff we want to do. Like, I want fewer suits in my life. And so I want to know, A, what's happening with our Marlins parade. We're going to have an actual Marlins parade to celebrate Jeffrey Luria, to dishonor Jeffrey Luria. It's going to have dump trucks and maybe like a dumpster that's on fire that's going to ride through the streets, and we're going to celebrate this. I want to ask you this question, though, Tim. Among baseball people, who is the ownership group that is most frowned upon or least respected by other baseball people? Never mind what fans think or narratives or public relations. In terms of other baseball people who come up to you and say, what are they doing over there? Who gets the least respect in baseball circles?
I think it's here.
Yeah.
I think people wonder, how can you win 2 World Series and then break things up? How can you be in such a huge city with such a fan base like this, with a fan base that fits a lot of things, and you're not drawing more people? Now, others have said, well, it's Florida. It's a spring training state. It's not a baseball state, and it's a transient area, so they're not going to draw there. But to answer your question, I think most people are wondering, what is the deal with the Marlins?
Well, I want to find out more. Mike, what can I do about this? Because yesterday some suits got in the way of me wanting to fly over this ballpark tonight, a plane that has, that says goodbye, Jeffrey Luria, or good riddance, or some version thereof. Have we gotten a flat no on that? Is that
we got a flat no yesterday, so I started getting worried about our Marlins parade, so I made some calls, and I feel better about our Marlins parade now. I know there have been several meetings with a lot of creators, and I just need the support from our suits over there because this is the biggest thing we've ever tried to do as a show.
Hold on a second, though. This is what I want to know, because we were promised when we came to ESPN that if this was after I was suspended,
right.
I was promised after I was suspended, just come to us on stuff. Instead of doing wacky hijinks, just come to us and we'll throw ESPN support behind stuff to help you.
So yesterday you came to ESPN asking for them to join you in this crusade.
Who do we need to talk to and who do we need to take out on air by name to get a plane over that ballpark tonight? Whether it's us or someone else doing it on our behalf, because it doesn't cost that much money to do it. I want to do this, and I don't want suits standing in the way of our fun. So how do we do that?
You want to call someone out by name?
Yes. Who do I need to call out by name? Dave Roberts, Dave Brovsky, Chuck Solitoro, Chad Keller, Ray Nitchie.
No.
Who do I need to call out by name? Ray, Liam, Justin. What's Justin's last name? Justin, is this your fault?
All I want to do is a zoom, zoom, zoom. And a boom, boom.
Is this Justin's fault? I want a plane over that ballpark tonight.
The roof's going to be closed, though.
So what?
I mean, I did get a no from Justin. That's
Is Justin the problem?
Justin was the no that I got.
Is Justin the problem? Guillermo, put it on the poll. Is Justin the problem at Le Batard Show? I want this done. We got like 12 hours.
Don Le Batard.
I just looked over my shoulder where Max and Stephen A. were talking to Snoop Dogg about whether or not LeBron is top 5 all time. Get the hell out of here.
Stugotz.
Who's responsible? Is that you, Solitoro? Who's responsible for that at ESPN? Because that person needs to be punished publicly. Brovsky, is that you? Roberts. Bald guy in sales. Who did that? You waste his time with is LeBron top 5 all time. I hate you.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Mike, would you do me a favor, please? Get together a list of some of Pitbull's cheesiest lyrics, and I'd like Tim Kurkjian to just read them, because I'd like this to be like a performance art poetry reading type of thing, just in Tim Kurkjian's voice, some of Pitbull's lyrics, so that he could dig deep into his soul. He could feel what it's like to wear incredibly tight white pants with a women's batting practice shirt. I want him to know. I want him to feel it down in his plums. We have...
My favorite Pitbull lyric was that time do you remember when he rhymed Kodak with Kodak? That was great. Yeah, right. Picture that with a Kodak. Or better yet, go to Times Square, take a picture of me with a Kodak.
Okay, no.
It's a good song, man.
Just get me some sexual lyrics, but not too sexual, and put them in front of Kurkjian, and we'll have him read some of Pitbull's most sensual music. I want to ask you this question, though, Tim, because we were talking about it, and I want an honest answer, because you're very delicate, you're very gentle, and when someone has a lousy idea, you don't normally say that's a lousy idea. You come in and you're very nice to them. Well, that's an interesting point to consider. I want your honest answer here. Don't be gentle, okay? Stugotz wants no more extra innings in baseball. He thinks we need to reach young people in baseball, and that young people have a short attention span, and that baseball has done a great job in fixing its home run derby by fixing that the audience has poor attention spans.
Right.
And here's 4 minutes. Here's your home runs. Here's 30 seconds of bonus time.
They've created excitement and urgency with the clocks, with the matchups, with all that stuff. They've created. Last night was so exciting. And I think for fans, and the ratings skyrocketed last night for the home run derby.
And that's partially Aaron Judge. But how would you feel about deciding games in extra innings, or after the 11th or the 12th or whenever, with something like what we saw last night?
I'm totally against it,
right.
And I think it's going to happen because
nice.
I think baseball's urgency to speed up these games is going to force a change. It's not going to have tie. We're not going to have tie games, but we're going to do what they did in the WBC. We're going to put a guy on second base to start the 12th inning. This is 20 years from now, maybe 10 years from now. And if that run doesn't score in the 12th, they're going to put him at third to start the 13th inning or something like that. And I was amazed because I just wrote this story for .com about what baseball is going to look like in 20 years. And Stugotz is not alone in this thinking from people who are actually in the game. But me, being old and a purist, I just don't want this to happen. I think some of the best, greatest stuff I've ever seen comes out of an 18-inning game, a 20-inning game when the catcher has to go pitch in a game that's still tied. I love that stuff. Now, do I enjoy 6.5-hour games? Of course not. Right. But I think to change the rules like that would be way, way too much, and I'm against it.
But, Tim, let me try it this way, and I understand why you're against it. I think a lot of people would be against it, but if I gave you a position at Major League Baseball and I put you in charge of attracting a younger demographic, would you be more for it? Would you be okay with that? Because I think people would be rooting for it.
Well, once you've opened the door on this once you've opened the door that Tim's talking about, runners on second, runners on third, then it's not any big leap to what it is that you're talking about because you're already mutating the traditional.
No, Tim, and imagine, like Nationals-Marlins go 9 innings, it's tied, and then it's Harper versus Stanton. They each have 3 minutes, and then we're done. 10 minutes, game's wrapped up, and it's exciting.
I think all of his ideas are cockamamie, except for this one.
Right.
Like, I don't think that this is asinine, specifically because baseball's got an aging customer problem.
Right, there's no doubt, and I have trouble relating to young people, even though I have 2 kids, 23, 26, and I have problem relating, and yet these kids want, action right away. And you're right, the clock in the home run derby has changed the whole thing.
Yes.
It's made it way better. Todd Frazier racing against the clock 2 years ago and telling his brother, who's a BP guy, throw it quicker, we got to go. That's what adds. So the beauty of baseball is there is no clock, and now the clock has saved the home run derby.
Right.
And it's great, but I just think there's a big difference between a home run derby and a Major League Baseball game, and I'm not going there. I can't.
I just love the idea of some team having to win in the margins around, by having to sign an expensive batting practice pitcher in the event that extra innings, like you have to sign, you can't have just some old guy. You can't have Perry Hill out there just throwing a baseball.
You could just have Heath Bell throw him right down the plate.
Yes, just normal. Yeah.
Ricky Nolasco.
But as you guys know, we keep trying to speed up the game, and as long as we average 16.5 strikeouts per game and a whole bunch of walks and 42% of our runs scored are on home runs, the games are going to take a long time. I mean, this is just the way it works. I've told you guys, the 1960 famous Bill Mazeroski game, 0 strikeouts in that game, and now we average 16.5 per game. And that's what's taken up all the time. So I love the idea of let's get some of the dead time out of the game, but all those strikeouts, all those walks, all those home runs are the reason we're at 3:08 average time, or whatever it is now.
We will take your calls for Tim Kurkjian next, 786-456-4837.
Dan Le Batard.
I had just come back from a journalism convention in Atlanta, and I was trying to get into my house. And, I was penguin walking down the driveway, and I realized I couldn't find my keys anywhere.
Stugotz.
I don't right now have the ability, given the state of my body seizing up, to climb through a window, to break a window. There's no time for that. What do?
You find a public place and you do what you got to do.
All right, so I went in the backyard, but this is the funny part about it visually is there's Dan Le Batard pooping next to a mountain of journalism plaques. I got 5 of them.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Tim Kurkjian, does Adam Silver look like Scott Van Pelt 15 seconds after opening the Ark of the Covenant? Does Jerry West look like a Southern preacher who tells his parishioners to show love and mercy for their fellow man by praying for the godless heathens and sodomites? Does Bruce Arians look like a longtime yellow cab driver who finally gives in and goes to Uber but can't figure out the app?
You had me at yellow cab. That's excellent.
Does Ben McAdoo look like the guy whose phone goes off during an AA meeting to the ringtone of Fight for Your Right to Party by the Beastie Boys? Or does Ben McAdoo look like the guy who proudly takes his homebrewed beer for all to try at the company picnic, yet is blissfully unaware of how reluctant his coworkers are to try the beverage he's dubbed the Macabrew? Or does Ben McAdoo look like the husband who buys a vacuum cleaner for his wife's birthday and then becomes confused when she gets upset? All right, this is what I want to do. We're going to take calls for Tim Kurkjian.
That's the best McAdoo.
That's the best McAdoo?
It's just
That's the best McAdoo?
He looks like that guy. He absolutely
does.
What?
Does Jim Caldwell look like an innocent bystander? He does, right? Does Tony Reale look like the guy who, when ordering in a nice restaurant, makes it a point to order food with foreign words in the name so he can show you how well he pronounces them and tell you about his semester abroad? Here's what we've got. We've got some Pitbull lyrics for Tim Kurkjian. By the way, if you want to spend time with Tim Kurkjian, the Jimmy V Foundation, we are all... ESPN stops this week to raise money for a good cause, and many of you help in a lot of different ways. Our bid here to go to a Heat game with our show is very high right now. A lot of people are bidding a lot of money. How do you get what Tim Kurkjian? What is the prize to spend time with Tim Kurkjian? If you love baseball, this will be the experience of a lifetime.
Well, we'll get everyone the address in a second so they can go on and bid. But, Tim, go ahead. Tell everyone what you're giving away here.
Well, we get to sit in the front row at Camden Yards. It's the best seat in the house, and you get to watch a major league game and sit next to me. There's a lot of food there. You can drink whatever you want. It's really good, and I just tell a bunch of stupid stories for 9 innings. And the same guy has signed up for this like 3 years in a row.
Wow.
He spends a fortune on it.
So it's the same guy who just goes to a game with Kurkjian? Nobody's outbid him?
He makes sure nobody out, and he spends a lot of money.
Wow, you've been challenged, people.
Well, no, so we need to bid up because we know this guy's going to swoop in last minute to get this thing.
Last year,
you weasel.
Right.
Wow, we're raising money for cancer research, man.
Okay.
Last year, he missed the auction, and then he called to say, I want to do it anyway. So he paid even more, so we had 2 auction items for me because this guy wanted to go so much. He's a great dude, by the way.
If you're a hardcore, Mike will give the address in a second, but if you're a hardcore baseball fan, like a hardcore, I cannot think of a better way to spend 9 innings.
He'll tell you great stories. If you love baseball, that's a great way to watch a baseball
And all
game.
proceeds benefit the V Foundation. You can go to ebay.com/ESPN. You can bid on Tim Kurkjian's experience that he just told you about, or you can bid on our experience, a Live with Batard in South Beach experience where you come hang out with us as we do our radio show, watch highly questionable tape, and then Dan and Stu will go to a Miami Heat game with you. Dan will be incredibly awkward.
And the last couple of years, the people have gotten to meet Pat Riley and Mickey Arison, and they are not incredibly awkward. So I'm not promising you that, but the last couple of years, the people have been able to do that.
There is no reason why Tim Kurkjian's experience should be as far low as it is right now, because that's cool. That's the way to watch a baseball game. Well, right now it's actually doing pretty well, like considering, I mean, I don't mean to brag, but it ain't ours. You know.
Well, how much have they bid for?
Yeah, he's got to climb up about 10 G's to reach Live with Batard. So you got to do it. You got to sell that. Man.
Let's go.
Let's go, people. Do that. He's got to do better than Russillo's basement. Like, watch a game with, honestly, watch a game with Russillo in his basement or watch a game at Camden Yards with Tim Kurkjian.
It's game night at Russillo's house, and the picture on the website just looks so sad.
Yeah, it's sad.
It's a picture of Russillo, the back of his head and the upper portion of his back, and his arm across his couch.
Yeah, he's going to be shirtless.
I don't want to tell people how to spend their money, but that Kurkjian experience is way better than Russillo.
Let's go. Let's go. Do better for Kurkjian. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take some calls, but before we do that, I just want you to read, if you don't mind, we've got like 6 or 7 lyrics. What I'd like to do, Tim, is answer one baseball question or one question from a caller, and then have you read a Pitbull lyric of some sort. So let's start with you reading the first Pitbull lyric. It doesn't appear to be in English. Go ahead and take your chances with the first Pitbull lyric.
I have to. It's in Spanish.
I know. Try and read it in Spanish if you don't mind.
I took French in college.
Okay, try and
high
read it in
school,
Spanish.
The biggest mistake I've ever made, and now
You
that
should have
Real
taken
Cormier's
Spanish.
retired,
Yeah.
I don't have anyone to talk to
That is,
anymore.
in baseball, you would have really been well served by being able to speak Spanish
Biggest
in
mistake
baseball.
I ever made. 33% of the players speak Spanish, and I can talk to Eric Gagne, who's long gone. That's it. I can't speak Spanish.
Okay, just try it. It's okay. People will recognize the lyric.
Esa jefita esta enteria tien tremendo culo esta tan linda esta tan rica Tien Tremendo Culo.
Excellent.
That was terrible.
No, it was great.
Nailed
No,
it.
it
You
was
read
great.
it like you've heard that
It was
song
great.
before.
It was.
Yes.
What
It
did
sounded
I
like
just
you were
say?
singing it.
What did that mean?
Don't worry about it.
Just that a little. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's better that you don't know. But you can claim plausible deniability.
But you were in tune, though, man.
It is. You were talking about how the beautiful old woman was. Chris, you're on with Tim Kurkjian. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Tick. And so, you look like a person that wears pajamas no matter what time of the year it is. Is this true?
No, I don't wear pajamas as opposed to pajamas. I don't wear pajamas. I wear a T-shirt and gym shorts every night, not pajamas.
Tim, we were having a discussion earlier before Dan got here. We were discussing whether or not you go to the bathroom in the pool or the shower. Do you pee in the pool?
No.
No? How about the shower?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, my man. My man. Yeah, you do.
How about the
Every
ocean?
man does. Come
Yeah,
on.
Of course, yes.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Does every man pee in the shower? Go ahead and read the next Pitbull lyric here, if you don't mind.
The one in English this time?
Whichever one is next.
Oh, God. Shimmy, shimmy, ya. Shimmy, yam, shimmy, ya. I'm a dirty old dog all day. No way, Jose. Your girl only go one way. Ah, ye madre.
Excellent. Yeah. Danny, you're on with Tim Kurkjian. Go ahead. Danny. No, it's great. You don't understand how good it is. Danny, you're on with Tim Kurkjian. Go ahead.
Hey, Tom, what's your favorite cut of steak?
I'm a New York strip guy, and I love steak, but I order steak. This is bad. I order steak well done most of the time.
That is
and
bad.
Maybe I'll go to medium well, but I'm a well done guy, and people think I'm an idiot. And chef says, "What are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't care. I eat everything. Everything's good to me. If you serve me a rare steak, I'm going to eat it.
Right.
But if I have a choice, I'm going to order it medium well or well done. That's just
Guillermo,
the way
put that on the poll as well. Is Tim Kurkjian awful for ordering his steaks well done? Is he an awful person?
Once you get past medium, the chef does start looking at
Yeah,
you.
oh
and
yeah,
asking
for sure.
questions. Yeah.
For sure. Especially if you go well done. Go ahead and read the next lyric, please. I love that we've turned him into this. He's got to put on his reading glasses to read the next
see anymore
Pitbull.
without my reading. I got to 55 without reading glasses.
Right.
Pretty good. And I don't need any other glasses. 2 + 2, I'm going to oh my God. 2 + 2, I'm going to undress you. 3 and 3, you're going to undress me. 4 and 4, we're going to freak some more.
Chris,
I am the last person on earth that should be
you're
reading
not
a
a
lyric
freak.
like
Yes,
that.
The only person on
You're
earth.
the first person. You're the best person. Chris.
Humiliating.
Yes, it is. Chris, you're on with Kurkjian. Go. Oh, I deleted him.
Deleted him.
I pressed the computer and hung up on
Dance
him.
New Water World isn't going to pay for itself.
It's a person, not a word.
I'll tell you what happened there if you want to be honest. If you want me to be honest, I'll tell you what happened.
Well, you're always honest.
Mike whispered in my ear in the middle of that, hey, we got to bail on Kurkjian reading these lyrics. The last one's really bad, and I didn't know you were going to make him read them. So that's what happened, and I was distracted is what happened. I want to see what the last one is. Let me see what the last lyric is right here. Let me
That's
see.
great. So
Let me
no
see.
one was deleted, just to be clear.
I'm the plumber of the night. Okay, yeah, we're not going to read that.
Catch more of the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz, 10 to 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPNU.
Okay, keep your eyes closed.
Okay.
I want to show you my first ever painting.
All right.
Okay. Open your eyes.
Oh, that's a lot of colors and shapes.
So be honest. What do you think?
Well, I like how if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds of dollars on car insurance.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Here, why don't I hold your paintbrush while you call them?
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Dan Le Batard, you're an insane person. You need to be committed. You are running a finger over your lips, arguing with yourself while pushing a shopping cart barefoot. They should put you in a straitjacket and not allow you around other sports fans who are sane.
Stugotz. This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Really enjoyed that hour with Tim Kurkjian in studio with us. We appreciate his time. All the time. Always there for the show. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guest on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Here's your SportsCenter update. All-star point guard John Wall said he still has not decided whether to sign the 4-year, $170 million extension the Washington Wizards had offered him. Imagine being able to decide whether or not you're going to sign a $170 million contract. God, the NBA players got it right. Free agent point guard, speaking of players who didn't get it right, Raymond Felton has reached an agreement with the Oklahoma City Thunder. League sources tell ESPN's Chris Haynes. According to sources, Felton's new pact is a one-year deal at the veterans minimum. And finally, Nevada's governor has endorsed a state of emergency declared for recreational marijuana regulations after the state's tax authority declared that many stores are running out of weed. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the Sports Center on ESPN Radio all throughout the day. Where's Batard? Oh, he's here. Just walked in. What a delightful hour with Tim Kurkjian, man. That's the first time I've met him, and my God, what a delightful person, a nice man, a kind man, and a funny man. I love him. I love him. I love him more than Greg Cody. There, I said it.
Whoa! Put it on the poll, Guillermo.
Me too.
Do you love Tim Kurkjian more than Greg Cody?
You're back.
Yeah, back,
yeah,
Chris.
Fat Chris. Dan, he has been, we had a great hour with Kurkjian. And Fat Chris has spent the entire break. He's upset because he botched the fake Tim Kurkjian.
He blew it.
I know, but we're telling him to get over it and let's move on, and he just redeemed himself. You would agree, right? That was a funny line on his dad. No?
Keep going.
No, he blew it. Right. Everyone here in the shipping container filled with frightened refugees has limited moments to shine. And all Chris Cody had to do there was the impersonation that he has down. And instead, he decided to go another route. And not only was it a terrible impersonation, not only did the whole thing fall apart, but also it was factually inaccurate because the Rockies are really good, Dan.
It was really bad by me.
It really was. Poor effort.
But did it ruin the rest of the hour? Because he feels like he ruined the entirety of the hour.
The week. Yeah.
Well, it ruined my life.
Wow.
I don't want to overstate this, but my life is now ruined. It was fine before that, and now it's ruined. Put $1, in fact, in the Paul Fine bucket. $1 for Chris Cody's shame.
Dan was late to the segment because he was just apologizing to Tim Kurkjian for what had happened.
How incompetent my staff is. I was just in the street. The reason I'm breathless is because I just sprinted up some stairs. Ran past a shirtless Ryan Russillo. Ryan Russillo is spending his entire time in Miami shirtless. He's going out to steak dinners shirtless.
He has to be soaking up the Clevelander, man.
He's so
there is no doubt.
Russillo wants to live down here. He's gotten a taste. Russillo wants to move his entire life right down here next to the pool at the Clevelander. Just because he's gotten a taste. He's a single man.
I could do 2 shows.
You're going to go downstairs and host with Russillo?
It's not a long commute. I just step downstairs and I join Russillo for a couple hours.
Let me explain something to you. What just happened there is I'm William H. Macy in Boogie Nights, and my wife will sleep with anybody in the parking lot. That's what. Do you realize?
Is that what it felt like?
Listen to me. Listen to me.
I'm listening.
I'm married to a whore.
You are.
My radio partner, he's just looking for who's the next person that he can host with. Who's the next person? I come home every day and my wife's in bed with another man. Every day. And every day I come home and my wife's looking at another man if she's not in bed with another man. And I come home every day and sometimes I don't even get to the bedroom. It's just happening in the driveway. And it's Stugotz. I am
with Russillo.
with anybody. With Mike and Mike, with Russillo, with anybody who works at the network. You want to just start a show with them.
I did Mike and Mike this morning, our show today, and I'm joining Russillo at 1:45 today. The dream is coming, Dan. It's becoming a reality. 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Just flying hot takes.
The S in ESPN is going to become Stugotz, and once America's done Browning, the E is going to become Stugotz, the way my father pronounces it. Stugotz. Mike, who do I need to light up on the executive level here to get a plane over the ballpark tonight as the Marlins host the All-Star game? I need a name. I saw Ray wandering around here sheepishly.
Yeah, Ray evacuated the premises as soon as we did
as soon as I started
segment.
talking
I think
about
we
this.
nailed it in that first segment. Like you kept saying Justin's name several times. He was the person. He's the one that told me no when it came to the plane.
But here's what I don't
That's the no I
understand. This
got.
is what I don't understand.
Well, just a quick update on the poll. Is Justin the problem at Le Batard Show on Twitter? And 71% of the audience right now feels like he is the problem.
Okay, let me tell you what the problem is, okay? And this is the God's honest truth because we like to be transparent as a show. I never wanted to do any of this. I wanted to stay in Miami doing a little local show, enjoying ourselves, having a lot of fun. But everybody else here would have been aided by moving to this time slot, be a big national show. I was perfectly happy in Miami. And so, because it was the right thing to do for the group, we are on now in the mornings, and we are doing this stuff with ESPN. And they've been great to us. Great to us.
No doubt.
An unbelievable amount of support. But there was that one time that I got suspended. And I got suspended because I put up billboards making fun of Cleveland and Akron and LeBron and Miami and ourselves, making fun of everything. And I got suspended because they wanted some notice. And what I heard from the very highest reaches of the company when I did that is it's not bad to do hijinks type stuff. Just keep us in the loop. And now what happens is I'm keeping you in the loop. And I'm getting hard nosed when they arrive on Justin's desk. And that needs to stop now.
Well, it seems like you need to find a new desk.
At a new company?
Well, no. When one desk says no, you go to a higher desk.
Well, this needs to stop. We were promised that when our nonsense, if we wanted to metastasize, that the company would help us. And we don't get very many no's. And so I don't mean to be a baby about this no, because we do not get many no's. We get a lot of support. But everything's changed at the top of the company now, and some new people need to know that we get support around here because we were promised support on these things.
Right. When the whole billboard thing happened and they told you, hey, next time just come to us, don't you think that was like maybe something that they said to like hold you over till next time?
Well, it would appear that it's feeling that way.
Management tactic.
It's feeling that way today. Management 101.
They're sitting there going, listen, he's never going to make this request again. There'll never be an idea like this again. So let's just tell him what we need to placate him and move on. Mike, that is great analysis of this situation.
Hold on. I just need to know who is the object of my ire that is now growing, because it used to be the bald guy in sales. But now the bald guy on sales is gone. We're Carmelo. We outlasted the bald guy in sales. We're not feuding with him anymore, and he's gone. So now, who needs to be the object of my ire now so that I could get a plane over this ballpark tonight that is trailing something that makes fun of Jeffrey Lurie? Because I've got an hour left to do this, and I want to get this done.
You want me to give you like a different name than we?
No, it's okay. So Justin's the name. No,
Justin's the no that I got. Justin's the no that I got.
All right. Well, where is Justin? Can I light him up on air? Where is he?
He's on a plane right now. So he left town. He left town just like the first time that we did this segment, like a half hour ago. Like he was hopping on a plane.
All right, so Justin is going to land like that woman who made fun of black people on her way to South Africa and said, I'm not going to get AIDS, I'm not black, and she didn't know that her entire life was changing as she flew, and when she landed, her career was over.
Well, it's not quite that.
Yeah.
It's not, okay, it's not quite that. How do I make it that? What do I need to do so that when Justin lands, he knows, get my plane up in the sky?
No, he knows because he sent me a text because he's watching on the airplane. He said, I am the problem. I am voting for me.
All right, well, we got to fix this. Okay, he's watching on the plane. So this is a direct message to you, Justin. All right, you're on the plane. Good. You have Wi-Fi access on the plane. Justin, we're going over your head. You are the new bald guy in sales, Justin. Like, you're new here, not me, not us. We have a set of rules that have been established here where the company supports us. You're playing defense against us, Justin. Is he in a middle seat on the plane home? I want people to imagine a suit, a starched brown suit in the middle seat on the way home, because this needs to stop.
Are you literally DMing him right now? Are you in a middle seat?
Not even DMing, texting. I just sent, are you in a middle seat?
Okay, because this is how I want to imagine it. I want to imagine him in a middle seat, stuffed Southwest, two fat guys next to him, flying back to Bristol.
Group D.
He needs to learn Stop with the no.
Dude, I just want to get Youpie out to a parade, okay?
Yeah, let's get Youpie.
And Youpie's down.
Yeah.
I've talked to the people that run Youpie.
Hold on. See, but here's the thing, though. This is the part that I find objectionable. Like, do you know how few new hot things there are in radio? Like, leave us alone. Let us do the new hot thing.
Oh, you were talking about us.
That's us.
Oh,
Really? Well, look, we're grading on a curve. Wait.
Well, look, yeah, we're grading on a curve. I mean, Tim Kurkjian just did Pitbull.
Yeah, I mean, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. When I say we're the new hot thing, I'm grading it against the guy who's got plumber's butt, and his name is Nasty Nestor, and he is, at the Super Bowl asking what's the single most important thing that the Seahawks have to do to win. I'm not grading
by
on
those
much.
standards. We are the new hot thing.
I'm not saying
around for 15 years, people.
We're not actually new or hot. We're just new and hot compared to Nasty Nestor and his plumber's butt on Super Bowl Radio Row.
No one's ever feuded with management on the air. This is a whole new thing.
Not at ESPN. They haven't.
No.
Hot
new thing.
Hot new thing. I want Justin to land in Bristol, get out of his uncomfortable middle seat, get out of his starched brown suit, and learn that he's got a problem on his hands. And that problem wants to fly planes tonight over the All-Star game. That's right. I just made it planes, plural.
Oh,
I
wow.
just upgraded my demands
See
here.
what you did, Justin? It was one
Now,
plane before.
see what you
Now
did,
it's
Justin?
two.
That's right, Justin. Look at how you made it worse. Now I want 2 planes. Now my demands, now one's not enough. Now one will not be supported enough by ESPN. Now I want 2 planes.
2 Yuppies now, too, Justin.
He hasn't responded to me.
I ain't got time to bleed.
What an odd response to his text. Are you in a middle seat?
I want to imagine him in the middle seat in the back by the bathroom, and somebody just befouled it. Somebody just befouled the little airplane bathroom, and you're in the middle seat in the back, flying back to Bristol. We got a new guy to feud with now.
Hot new thing was a little carried away.
Yeah, probably.
Dan Le Batard.
I listened to Dan's show while I was in Florida last week, I listened every day. Came in the afternoon. He's got a good show.
Stugotz.
It's got a very good show. Oh, it's impeccably produced. I mean, oh, goodness. That is like a training show for kids on how to produce radio.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
In 10 minutes on ESPNU, we will have some exclusive footage. If you are near a television, if you get ESPNU, Lorenzo's been in town here. Brown Charlie's been doing work with FanFest for the All-Star Game with Guillermo and Fat Chris. So if you are near a television, Roy made an appearance. ESPNU, that'll be in about 10 minutes. Texter writes in here, did anyone know that Stink now works for FS1? Is that true?
What?
Does Mark Schlereth now work at FS1? First of all, let's find out if that's true.
Okay.
Mark Schlereth, this is a funny thing that happens at ESPN. The company, the parts are so disposable that somebody leaves and you don't even notice that they've left for several weeks or months.
I'm reading something from the Sporting News 14 hours ago that Stink has jumped to FS1 after 16 years at ESPN.
From the screen cap, it appears he was on Undisputed today.
All right, Guillermo, put that on the poll. Did you know that Mark Schlereth now worked at FS1? I told you before, and I'm not going to take any joy from the head of Fox Sports getting knocked out, getting fired over sexual harassment claims, but I've marveled at the fact that FS1 has all of these resources, had an opportunity to challenge ESPN with legitimate resources, and what they chose to do is just be a poor man's version of ESPN by hiring the same damn people that ESPN took into prominence. And this is nothing against Cowherd and Bayless and everyone else at FS1, or many of the people at FS1, but I do marvel at this idea that the people in this business don't realize that ESPN is the one that makes you.
Right.
That it's not you and your talent. It's not you and your ego. It's ESPN that makes everyone. Schlereth may or may, depending on what you like, he may or may not be someone you like on television or radio. But regardless of that, the reason you know he is somebody to be heard on these subjects is only because of ESPN, who could do that with any offensive lineman in the world if they chose to, because ESPN has that kind of power. And so now FS1 comes in and all they do is go and hire the people who didn't work at ESPN as if there was nobody else available to them. And I just marvel at that when you have those kind of resources and that's how you decide to compete.
What's the way you would have competed? Would you have gone just younger, different?
Go different.
Yeah.
Go different.
Yeah.
Try different. Try to be the anti-ESPN. In fact, play against ESPN with some of the things that people hate about ESPN. Really accentuate those and fight with ESPN. Like, fight with ESPN. But you can't fight with ESPN if you're the same thing as ESPN done less well. Fight with ESPN as the different thing, as the up-and-comer, and everyone will come to your side. But you can't try and out ESPN. That's what's happening in basketball right now. Everybody's trying to out Golden State. Cleveland changed the entire way that they did business to be Golden State, to be better at what Golden State does than Golden State is. And you're not. You're just going to lose that way. So if you're going to lose either way, which you likely are, if you're facing something as strong as ESPN, if you're going to lose either way, there's more nobility in losing creatively and different than there is in losing trying to be the same damn thing ESPN is.
Absolutely. Plus, there's more upside. I mean, that's it. I mean, you might not win, but there's certainly more upside.
You'll be more popular.
Yes.
You will be. If you're the subversive thing that's going after the establishment, you'll at the very least be more popular.
Correct.
But not if you're just hiring all of ESPN's people.
And putting on basically the same shows. I mean,
I marvel at it. I can't believe that that's the choice that's been made. And because I've been waiting for a competitor for ESPN to actually have the resources to challenge. And that competitor is here with the resources and can't challenge because they're doing everything the same damn way.
Don Batard. Let me be very, very clear. When it comes to commentary, talking about the game of basketball, I'm just talking about on television, the combination of content and personality and presentation. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I think I'm the best in America. I really do.
Stugotz.
He's the best, man. He is the best. He is great at television, great at radio, and I wish I had that kind of confidence about anything in my life other than my appetite.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Texter writes in, have you seen the picture of Joel Embiid holding a baseball? You can't even see the baseball. I don't think people realize what an unbelievable freak Joel Embiid is. If Joel Embiid stays healthy, he's going to be dominating that sport.
I don't know if he's going to dominate that sport. He's going to be a really, really good player.
Stugotz, I'm telling you that if he stays healthy, he's going to be an overwhelming force who is among the greatest to ever do it. If he's healthy.
I'm looking at the picture right now. It is amazing.
He's a total physical freak.
Yes.
Like 7-footers can't do the things that they don't look like that.
During his best healthy run last season, they were one of, if not the best defensive team in the league. His defensive metrics, he's super gifted offensively, but he really helps out the team's defense.
What I didn't realize, he was great last year in the 31 games that he played, was I didn't realize how good he was from three. Like, he's 36% his rookie year from
Mike,
three.
If this guy, I don't think people understand. If this is healthy, this is going to be a superstar.
It's just such a mighty big if.
Yes, it's a huge if.
Right.
If is the biggest little word in sports. If, yes, it is. It's an enormous if because of the injury troubles that plague 7-footers.
He's the reason, and I know this is probably not the direction that you want to go in because it all goes back to LeBron, 2018 Banana Boat Watch, but that would be the play, no? Go in there. It's the fourth biggest market in the nation, Philadelphia. This is not some tiny market. They have, like we kept saying, like go to New York because you have Porzingis on an affordable contract. Well, they have Fultz, Saric, Embiid, Simmons. They have 4 of those guys if they all stay healthy and project to be what we project them to be.
Lakers have 2, though.
They have $40 million in space next season because they signed Redick to that 1-year deal. They can clear more room by getting rid of that Bayless contract, getting rid of that Okafor deal. Like, that would be the play.
Mike is right, but so is Stugotz. Lakers have 2 of those guys, but the Sixers have a bunch. And if you believe in the idea that anywhere LeBron goes, he will make it good with those, because, the Sixers with the Colangelos have done some of those Ilyasova moves.
Right, but the Sixers also are in the Eastern Conference.
That's the biggest one.
That's a big one, yeah. But I still think it's LeBron, Paul George, Russell Westbrook going with Lonzo Ball and Brendan Ingram.
Okay, that'll work too.
Yeah.
They're good.
But it'd be easier in the East. Like that is LeBron is really smart. And he keeps getting to the finals, and if I were him, I would just figure out what's the best spot for me in the East. I don't want to be Paul George. I mean, do you know how ridiculous it is to say that Paul George has been traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder where a guy averages a triple-double and that team doesn't have a real chance?
Funny.
Plus, I don't want to make it sound like, it's easier for LeBron out in the East. Not like LeBron's afraid of challenges, but if we're talking about the Banana Boat Crew, those are older dudes. Does Chris Paul have a meniscus? Like, they could afford something easier. Melo could afford something easier. D-Wade, if this is the plan, they could afford something easier.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Should LeBron go to Philadelphia? Yes or no? Texter writes in here, why do you all despise Fox so much? Is it because it doesn't fit ESPN's liberal agenda? First of all, no one here despises Fox. And I'm critical of things at Fox, and I'm critical of things at ESPN. I root for Fox to actually succeed. It's better for me personally.
Better for everyone in this
industry. It's better.
Well, not everyone, but
no, but it is. It's better. I want growing worlds where a lot of people are paying money for gas bags.
Yep.
I want all the world to be a utopia where nothing exists other than people paying for gas bags and everyone being super successful paying for gas bags. You really wait a minute. Let me
it's
just
the
see.
Dream. I mean,
let me just see if I have this right. So you think that I'm against an entity emerging to pay people like me $5 and $6 million a year? That's what you're arguing? You think I'm against that? That Colin Cowherd makes more money than any baseball manager?
I'm just hoping they hang on long enough until our contracts come up.
Wow, that is poor form by Stugotz. Taking it that extra step where he alienates our present bosses.
Subtlety of an anvil.
Man, why is Stugotz? Do you think?
But it is my form. I mean, that's me.
Wait, who is as bad with subtlety as Stugotz is? Like who anywhere in the world? I'm serious. Like who's somebody is it that Kardashian guy?
Rob
Kardashian?
Is it Rob Kardashian?
Rob.
Yeah, another big wig. Yeah. Always good when like revenge porn is the second or third biggest slight on your resume in a week. No, seriously, who's as bad at subtlety? Like
it's not Kardashian. Like I'm really bad, and I'm not certain there's anyone that's worse, but it's definitely not Kardashian.
But I'd like to explore what just happened, even though it doesn't do anybody any good to explore what just happened. You don't realize as we're doing it that we're pushing the boundaries of ESPN just as we complain about Justin the executive and demand to fly our planes and even rip Fox as we're doing it. We're already pushing the boundaries of what happens around here.
Yeah.
Why do you have to go the extra step of saying, I can't wait until our contracts run out so we can run out so we can negotiate with Fox? Don't shake your sausage finger no at me. That's what you just did.
I did say that. I said
I can't wait.
No, I didn't say that. I was making the joke at Fox's expense that I hope that they're able to hang on long enough.
Is that what you were doing?
Of course that's what I was doing. Everyone knows. Perhaps a little bit of both.
We're already like, how do you not realize once we're up? Like, here's
I'm oblivious.
But here's what I don't understand is here we're a couple of dogs on a lawn, right?
Yeah.
And I know where the electrical fence is, but this is the dumbass dog that doesn't ever know and is always running into the electrical fence. And I'm always right there next to the fence, getting close to it. It's dangerous. It's sensual. It's kind of a fix for me. And I get close to the fence, but I know where the electricity is.
And then the wiener dog
and then the wiener dog comes thundering through, and it's got an erection, and it just runs into the fence every time, and it never learns where the fence is.
You don't want me to learn where the fence is.
I can't. In moments like this one, I do. I don't want you to learn too much about where the fence is, because we all enjoy when you run into it and get zapped. But I just wish that, what you don't understand is one of these times you're going to run into the fence, and the electricity is going to be cut off, and we're just going to be sitting on the lawn in your poop. And because the company is going to take its electricity and go elsewhere, and it's just going to be you and me and the smell of poop.
Just a bit more subtle.
Just a bit. Just a touch.
All right,
You're
work
about as
on
subtle as like Johnny Depp's spending habits.
I'll work on it. That's all I can tell you I'm going to do is I'll work on it.
No, you won't.
You're right, I won't.
Like, you think history of this company, let's think about something for a second. Do you think in the history of this company, anybody has ever said on ESPN's airwaves, hey, can't wait for Fox to hold on long enough for when our contracts come up so I can negotiate?
I was just wishing him good luck, man. That's all.
Actually, I was in studio with Cowherd during the final days. He basically said as much.
Did he?
Yeah.
Basically saying no. And how'd that work out for him? He got his cash, but he was no longer welcome at the company, and they ended his contract early.
He got $6 million.
Unbelievable, man.
I know that he got $6 million.
No, you.
Oh.
You were unbelievable.
Sorry.
You're not sorry.
I mean, you've never heard anyone do that at ESPN.
Just
I'm
shut
with
up
you, but
already.
they've never had anyone like me.
No, you just don't understand the stuff that I have to do when...
Sorry.
This is the thing. I'm always cleaning up Stugotz poop. Like, that's the thing. I got the doggy bags, and and you know what he is? He's the one who never cleans up his own poop. I can't train him. He just runs into the electrical fence, and what's going to happen one day is he's going to wake up from an electrical fog, and he's going to look up at me and be like, what happened? And I'm like, of course ESPN fired us.
You can listen to the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz 10 to 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio, and you can watch on ESPNU.